All right, welcome to another trading analytics video. As you guys can see, SPY is getting very, very close to our price target uh, of 608. Where do we get 608 from? Essentially, this upper trend line here that we've been rejecting from for quite a while. I said that SPY would likely get towards that trend line, which is right at that 608 level, as well as the upper Bollinger Band is sitting right in that same area. So essentially, we're right at that spot. I do think SPY can probably push a little bit higher, maybe just above the 608 level before rejecting. As you guys know, we did leave a gap here unopened, opened, and essentially I think it's like right around 604. So obviously there is some downside risk after hitting this resistance, upper Bollinger Band, as well as the upper trend line. So again, I would be very, very careful here because of that lower gap that we have and being at resistance. It's probably a good time to lock a lot of your profits in that you have on some of your longs. And obviously, the market is going to present more opportunities. But again, I think we need to be very, very patient with what we're doing here. Obviously, there's still a long month of December ahead of us, and there's going to be other opportunities after any potential pullback. At this point, like I said, I just think it's getting a little bit overextended, seeing as though we're approaching resistance, and we literally had just been running ever since we retested the breakout at 584. It's been basically a nonstop freight train. The SPY swing trade that we have taken in our Discord server did very, very well. As you can see, like I mentioned in the previous video, we bought that at 584, and here we are at our price target. So essentially, I would just be very, very careful, like I mentioned, of that downside gap. And yeah, we'll obviously wait to see what the rest of the trading week has for us. But I am getting a little bit concerned because of the resistance, all of the resistance that we have ahead of us here. All right, jumping over to the NASDAQ 100 or QQQ. We made a brand new all-time high today. I said that if we were to gap over 515, that we would likely head towards 520. As you can see, we've exceeded that at 523 and change. From here, though, there's a good chance that we could round back down and fill this gap, or we could head straight up towards this upper trend line here and then pull back. I'm kind of on the of the belief that we're gonna pull back first because we are outside of that upper Bollinger Band. I think we could easily round back down, fill the gap, and then head higher to close out the year. But at this point, the NASDAQ 100 did hit our target here. We did take a swing trade overnight on the NASDAQ 100. We did about 100% on that trade. So just a big shout out for anyone who took that trade in our Discord server. We did very, very well on that one. So like I said, from here, there's obviously a chance that we could just continue melting up towards the upper trend line here. But, the downside gap is bothering me. So just kind of keep that on your radar. All right, jumping over to our semiconductors ETF or SOXX. As you guys can see, it's the same story that we've been talking about. We obviously put in a double bottom here. We got the breakout. We retested the breakout, and then we got our move north. Essentially, nothing is wrong here. You can see a little red candle there. Essentially, what happened was we tested the 100 EMA and we got rejected there. I think it's just a little quick bump in the road. I think we are going to push past that and head towards that 227 area, which is a test of this trend line. As you can see, this trend line, we rejected this several times, but eventually once you keep knocking this over and over like we have, this would be 1, 2, 3, and this will be the fourth time. Eventually, you're probably going to break that. As I said in the previous video, we'll cross that bridge once we get there. But from here, I think everything's fine with this trade. If you were loading around 214, 215 when we, told you guys to in our previous video, obviously you'd be doing very, very well at this stage. So at this point, I'm just staying bullish until around that 227 area. That's where I'm probably going to look to lock in a lot of my profits. And once I get there, I'm probably going to hold a few runners to see if we're going to break that trend line once and for all. And then from there, I'll probably start, giving new projections in the next few videos. But from here, everything looks fine. If you're on the bull side, you're good to go. I would just stay long. All right, jumping over to Tesla stock here. Obviously, you guys can see Tesla did really well today, pushing over the 355 level. From here, I'm looking for Tesla to gap over 360. If we go over 360 and close candles up there, I do believe we'll target that 370 level, which is right around your upper Bollinger Band as well. The downside risk that I had, what I was concerned about before with Tesla was that 345 area, 346, 345 area, which is a gap that we have right here. I thought there was a chance that we could come and fill that. Yesterday, we did wick down to around 348 and change. and obviously we got a bounce there. Bulls retook control, overtook 350, and obviously consolidated pretty much all day today before getting that nice leg up intraday. And so from here, like I said, we are putting in this nice consolidation overall. It's a little flag-like structure that we have on the daily chart. If you guys actually go ahead and look at your hourly charts, there's a massive consolidation going on there. So I think Tesla is poised for a breakout. Eventually, I do think we are going to test that 370 level, assuming we can just hold over 350. Anything below 350, I don't want to be in Tesla because I think we'll likely come down and fill that gap. But outside of that, I think Tesla could easily round back up here and test that 370 level, especially if we are able to close some hourly candles over 360. All right, jumping over to NVIDIA stock. As you guys can see, we had a nice daily double bottom here. My only concern with the daily double bottom was I wanted to see us break over 140. 140 is the neckline retest of this double top here. I wanted to see if bulls can overtake it rather than just simply rejecting from there. We obviously did that off of the strength of this double bottom here. In our Discord server, we did go long on NVIDIA today, and it was actually in our $1,000 to $10,000 account challenge. I think we did just around 50% on that. So if you have a small account and you're looking to scale to that, 5-figure area or $10,000 milestone, the account challenges we run on a quarterly basis at Trading Analytics is a great tool for you guys. Link to all of that will be in the description of this video. You can join our Discord server there and obviously check us out. So from here, I do believe that NVIDIA could easily test that 147 area. From 147, we can test 149 and 150. Obviously, over 150, we simply have that, upper Bollinger Band here, right around the 152 area. And from here, we could easily round back down and see some profit taking. But at this stage here, I think you need to stay bull. There's no reason to, be bearish on this chart. The bulls are clearly in control, and if you're long NVIDIA, I think you're going to do very well. All right, jumping over to Meta stock. Before I actually get into the analysis of what I believe is going to happen with Meta stock, I do want to play you guys a short clip of one of the previous videos that we covered about 3 days ago. That video was titled, "This Chart Looks Ready to Explode," and that was referring to Meta. So I do want to play you guys a quick little clip from that video before I give you the analysis on this one. All right, so jumping right in to Meta, this is the next ticker that I wanted to make sure that I covered with you guys. As you guys can see, we are putting in a very nice flag-like structure here. I think Meta is poised for a very impulsive move to the upside as it stands now. The biggest key for Meta is going to be holding this trend line here, this lower trend line here. If we're able to lose that, which would be just below 560, then all bets are off in this scenario. I don't think the upside scenario will play out. But from here, everything seems to be intact. I do believe that Meta is going to make a nice move up somewhere in the 600s between, obviously December and January. So again, I do like longer dated call options for this move. If you're a degenerate, you obviously can go with some shorter term call options. I do think that'll be extremely risky to do so. My bet would be call options towards the end of December or early January. And I think you'll probably get a very, very nice return on those options. All right, as you guys can see, we pretty much nailed that analysis completely with this arrow largely playing out to the upside as we anticipated. And we pretty much did about 500% in our Discord server on that trade. We were in this long before any of the videos ever came out. But again, the video that we obviously played the clip from, Meta was essentially trading around 574. There was still so much upside to be had. And so if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so now. We are going to be covering a lot of stocks that look ready to go based on the chart. Obviously, we're not going to be giving entries, exits, and all that stuff like we do on our Discord server, but you can get the heads up on charts that look really, really good ahead of time. And yeah, so like I said, if you did well with Meta by watching any of the videos, just comment below and let us know how you did. But just a big shout out to everyone who got into this trade. We did very, very well on it. I know a lot of people on our Discord server were extremely happy with this trade. So yeah, from here on Meta, I do believe that we probably have a little bit more upside to go. This upper trend line does take us somewhere around the 620s, maybe low 630s. And so I do think Meta has a little bit more upside from here. Obviously, a lot of the upside is behind us at this stage if you're just seeing this video now. But again, from this upper trend line here, there's a good chance we'll probably run into some resistance. We easily could also put in some consolidation before heading up there. But again, Meta, still does look poised to have another leg higher in it. And yeah, this was probably one of my favorite trades in the month of December so far. So yeah, hopefully you guys caught that bull, and there'll be plenty more. All right, last but certainly not least, as you guys can see, Coinbase is having a massive bull flag here. I really like this chart for some upside. I do think we can easily test this 344 level, close to 345, which is our upper Bollinger Band. We might pull back a little bit from there before rounding out and heading a little bit higher. Just remember though, Coinbase is very much so tied to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is obviously extremely volatile, so there could be some, serious, back and forth swings on this trade. Overall, though, it is a daily bull flag nonetheless. I think if Bitcoin can, head over 100,000, then obviously this one's going to do very, very well, and this chart will play out largely like the arrow is indicating. However, just remember that Bitcoin probably will run into some kind of selling at the 100,000 level. Remember, 100,000 is a very, very big psych level. We've been having trouble even getting over 100,000 for I don't know how long now. So, again, if Bitcoin sees any kind of sell off from that 100,000 level, then that's obviously going to not be the greatest thing for a trade like this. And this flag will probably not play out in the way intended, right? But if Bitcoin rips over 100,000 and there's some euphoric buying after that, then obviously I do expect this chart to play out in a major way. So in our Discord server, we did take a couple contracts there. I think we were up around 30% before the market closed. And so again, for me, it's a very, very small position because I know the risks of Bitcoin related plays. But again, nonetheless, it is a daily bull flag on a very impulsive like ticker. So it can get really crazy if Bitcoin is to rip over that $100,000 area. So chart says it looks good. I'm on board with it. But again, just know your risk. And again, if you are going to jump in this trade, just understand that Bitcoin has that psych level at 100K, and it could make the trade get a little bit hairy. So I wouldn't put too much capital in it if I were you. But that's not financial advice. That being said, that wraps up our video today. If you're not subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and do so. Don't forget, we also have our Discord server link down below if you're interested in joining the $10,000 account challenge or just coming in there to catch some swing trade ideas. So that being said, we'll catch you guys later. Hopefully you guys will have a great close of your trading week. God bless.
Perfect.